Well, the Emmy race for Best Movie Mini Supporting Actress is a dead heat between two women from the Assassination of Gianni Versace, Penelope Cruz and Judith Light, previous Emmy winner Merritt Wever in Godless, and three first-time nominees, Sara Bareilles in Jesus Christ Superstar, Letitia Wright in Black Mirror, and Edina Porter in American Horror Story Cult. Here to discuss are Gold Derby contributors Amanda Spears, Charles Bright, Tony Ruiz, Riley Chow, and myself, Zach Laws. So this category is all about the ladies. Ladies first, Amanda. Right now, the number one in our odds is Penelope Cruz for Versace. Does that make sense to you, or do you think that maybe there's somebody else we should be looking at?
Isn't being married to Javier Bardem enough? Like, seriously? I mean, come on.
It would be for me.
Me How about being married to Penelope Cruz? I mean, let's talk about Javier Bardem.
Well, he's not nominated, so
no.
I think he could win. It is a very big performance. I'm so glad it wasn't Lady Gaga, but I think if this really comes down to two women, and it's Judith Light, who shocked me. This just shocked me what she was capable of doing. I loved her so much in this episode. She has an entire arc like Finn Wittrock. And then Merritt Wever, who should just take a deep breath before the category is called and be prepared, because she's such a scene stealer. To me, she's really the one who deserves to win for this. And it really proves she's a star because you miss her when she's gone. And it's such a badass character. I never thought the timid nurse from Nurse Jackie would do this. So,
well, now Tony, speaking of somebody who you miss when they're gone, I think the same is really true of Judith Light in Versace, who only has 2 episodes. One of those episodes is a real standout, and I mean, she steals every scene that she's in. I think that she's actually in the front runner spot to win this. What do you think, Tony?
If they're paying attention at all, then this should be a kind of a slam dunk for Judith Light. It makes me miss the tape system, because on tape alone, she would win, I think.
Yes,
she does. She has a couple of other things going for her. First of all, 18 nominations for Versace. So they clearly watched it, and they clearly liked it to nominate it 18 times. And she also has somewhat of an overdue factor. She is technically an Emmy winner because she has 2 daytime Emmys, but she's never won a primetime Emmy. This is her 4th nomination. And this could be a way for voters to, reward her for Transparent, for her long career. She's been a vocal ally for the LGBTQ community. And plus the fact that I interviewed her, my interview with her is posting tomorrow.
We all win Emmys for putting up with you. I'm just going to...
Right?
I'm just going to say this. I know it's probably not appropriate, but if she got yelled at like Jessica Walter did on Arrested Development, as she did on Transparent, now would be the time to say something, because that could tip this in her favor. It would not be the reason to vote for her, but she's so good. It's just, we know in the past they've watched these, because that's how Sterling K. Brown, so funny to think of him as an unknown, took down John Travolta, David Schwimmer, Hugh Laurie. So,
and Charlie, I mean, Judith Light isn't exactly an unknown, considering how long she's been in the. But
she's not Penelope Cruz.
I was going to say, to your point, Penelope Cruz does have the name recognition in the category, but the same was true of John Travolta in O.J. Simpson. What do you think? Does Judith Light actually have a chance of winning this category?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm actually predicting Judith Light to win for her performance in The Assassination of Gianni Versace by the coward Robert Ford. I've been holding that one back.
Oh my God, I love it so much. It's like Godless
she does have a very strong chance here because literally, like a lot of people when they watch it, there was quite a bit of apprehension about Penelope Cruz. You know that she's not that she's Spanish, not Italian like Donatella, but she does a very good job of capturing Donatella at that time. But there's no like dynamite scene for her, or at least an episode with that one dynamite scene. Even though there's some really good scenes, but Judith Light has that, and she just seizes every single moment she has on there, and that's why I think they're gonna go with her. Even though Penelope Cruz is the movie star, I mean, like you would normally
well, if
think
they're going to go for a movie star, let's go with Letitia Wright. I mean, she can just get up there and say Wakanda forever, and we'll all know why she won.
Yeah, I mean, but I do think that Penelope Cruz is very much out front. Judith Light is very out front, and I think this is her strongest chance out of all of her nominations to win.
Riley, what do you think? You're always good at poking holes in our arguments. So, who do you think is winning this category? Do you think it's one of the three that we haven't mentioned: Sara Bareilles, Letitia Wright, or Edina Porter?
No, I don't know about those nominations. This is one category where I would really like to know the vote totals for the Gold Derby Awards, because, is Penelope Cruz going to take out Judith Light significantly enough that, we don't have to worry about Merritt Wever, or will vote splitting be a large factor? In the forum, I ran a poll, and it's gotten 80 votes so far about, apples to apples comparison. Would you vote for Penelope Cruz or Judith Light? And 2-1 right now is for Judith Light. But I would also assume that the Academy is more prone to vote for Penelope Cruz than people in our forum. So that makes it seem kind of, 50-50, in which case vote splitting is a factor. And that's part of why I'm predicting Merritt Wever. Merritt Wever is also, the quintessential Godless character. She doesn't give the Godless speech like Jeff Daniels, but it is her face over the title in the main title sequence. And, if people like Godless and they like its original contributions to television, like she's really the embodiment of that.
And I agree with you about the vote splitting, and that's why I keep thinking about going with Merritt Wever myself, because she absolutely could win. And it could be because there's going to be people who are going to vote for Penelope Cruz, and there's going to be a lot of people who vote for Judith Light. And Merritt Wever, this is not going to be like, I don't know how she won this. She absolutely deserves to win this. Even on episode, she could do it. I just don't want people to be like crappy about this one. She should pull this off.
It's strange about Penelope Cruz because even though Judith Light is, she has a better episode, she's only in 2 of them, whereas Penelope Cruz is in 5. And she does get, her crying scenes and her scenes where she's moving up in the company or whatever. Like, she does have material, but I think it just fell short of people's expectations. And that's really what is coloring everyone's perception of the role and how she played it. But I also wonder if Versace is this big front runner. Like, I wouldn't say that, Laura Dern or Alexander Skarsgård last year were giving these undeniable performances, but they kind of got swept up. And I could see how Penelope Cruz might get swept up.
I think that, part of the, I want to say problem with Penelope Cruz, I mean, it's like the show's not really about her. You know what I mean? Like, it's about, it's not really about, it's not about Judith Light either.
It's not about Versace, really.
Well, I think
it's about,
the thing is that Judith Light got attention for her episode. I mean, there was a lot of attention placed towards her. And we know, based on the writing nomination, that they at least got to, 4?
Well,
maybe
Finn Whitrock is in 5 too.
Yeah, so let's say 5. So we know they at least got to 5, which means that they might not have seen Penelope Cruz's episode, where we at least know they saw the first 4 or 5 of them, and she's just so good in this. It's so unexpected. That scene at the mirror, I'm like, ooh, you're giving Glenn Close a run for your money.
Which, by the way, fun fact from my interview with her is that scene was filmed the day after last year's Emmys. She had a few hours before she stunning to me. I do say some Who did I want to say something about? Oh, I do want to say something about Sara Bareilles. You know, whatever we might think of the nomination, the overwhelming response to Jesus Christ Superstar, could that sweep? Could Sara Bareilles get in there if there's a vote split between Cruz and Light?
Yeah, I could see that.
Could that benefit Sara Bareilles?
I do think so, because it is, I think, firmly the most ahead of any of the front runners represented in this category. And, you know, when you think about where she started when we first met Sara Bareilles, to becoming a Broadway writer to an actress, this is a very, very chameleon performer. And she's never won a Grammy. She didn't win the Tony because she lost to Hamilton. So the good news for her is that she might finally, even if she doesn't win, she might still finally get that Grammy, because it's going to be eligible there. So hang in there is all I have to say for her. She might finally get the award she deserves. And I thought she was lovely in it.
I think even if there is a Jesus Christ Superstar sweep and they pick up directing and lead actor and supporting actor, I would still be surprised if they picked up Sara Bareilles, although I'm always intrigued by vote split.
I think she has a better chance than John Legend, personally, because I think it's a more memorable performance. I don't know how to love him as like the second song in the musical compared to Superstar. So
what about,
I think he has an easier chance than John Legend, since I think most people know he's probably already taken care of.
What about Letitia Wright? I mean, I think a lot of people probably thought they were voting for her in Black Panther when they saw Black Mirror.
I hope her nomination leads to a rule classification. Whereas if you're going in movie and you have a series of movies, but you submit one, only people from that movie can be nominated, because I just feel like it's unfair to everybody else.
Well, in all fairness,
Black Mirror could do this.
In all fairness to her, though, I mean, I joke about people thinking they were voting for Black Panther, but she is very good in that episode.
Oh, yeah. I have no problem with her personally. I just think it's unfair for them to skirt the rules like this, basically.
I mean, Black Mirror should be a, limited series, but, it's kind of like if the Twilight Zone were able to submit for TV movie back in the day.
It doesn't affect her nomination here, though, because this is movies and limited series together.
Yeah.
She's probably the youngest nominee in forever in this category.
Yeah. If she gets up there, if she wins, it'll be because of Black Panther, I think.
Yeah, where she really belongs is, Black Mirror belongs in drama series, and she belongs in guest actor, which is what they used to do with anthology series.
Yeah. We haven't talked a lot about Edina Porter. It's pretty odd that she got nominated this year for American Horror Story, when in Roanoke she was basically like a co-lead, and really had a dramatic arc that she went through. Is there any kind of chance that maybe, considering that she's been around for a while and this is her first nomination, maybe she could kind of benefit from some love from last year?
Well, under the old system, I think so, but not under this new system.
Wait, why under the old system?
Because that's where we would see, just completely random wins.
Like
as we
Merritt
said, like Barry Pepper for the Kennedys, or Merritt Wever, even. But not to disparage either of them, but they were very much out of nowhere wins, and that's why I think that.
Well, I think we've pretty much kind of.
Riley, you were about to say something. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I don't think that the Emmys always know what year they're in. Especially in supporting actor recently, where we get Peter Dinklage winning and then we get Ben Mendelsohn winning, when really both those people should have won the year before if they were going to. So, she was a co-lead last year, so maybe, I assume that's how she got the nomination this year.
Maybe the category was just too competitive for her to break in last year, and people just kept voting for her. So, you never know. Even a popularity vote, you just really never know until the envelope's open. And we've had a very unpredictable field this year.
Well, I think we've settled on a consensus 3, but I might as well go round robin and ask everybody what their rankings are. Amanda?
Oh, right now I have Light, but I might switch to Wever. But I have Light, Wever, and then I have Penelope Cruz.
Charlie?
I have Light, Cruz and Wever, but I'm tempted to switch Wever to second and Cruz to third.
Tony.
Vote splitting. Mm-hmm.
I have the same three that Amanda: Light, Wever, and Cruz.
Riley.
Wever, Light, Cruz.
And I have got Light, Wever, Cruz.
And Charlie, you have a joke about the.
It sounds like it sounds like a cruise line for basket weavers.
I would totally go on that cruise, by the way.
Well, stick with